congratulations on this album. It's such an amazing album. I've had a chance to sit down and take a listen to it, and I absolutely loved it. So congratulations.
Thanks, man. Dude, bro, I'm really nervous about this record, but I'm really glad that I read what Heavy Magazine, which is also from down there, what they said. Now, what you've just said, like, it really, really blesses my heart to know that people kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, there's nothing on this record that is particularly different. And we're not like, oh my God, we're not Tool reinventing the fucking wheel here. But we're just, it's the intention behind the record, the way the lyrics, you know, people get it, man. And the fact that you say you loved it, it's like, I think that then you get it. You know what I'm saying? You get what we're trying to do here.
It's one of those albums that when you listen to the lyrics, it makes you think and go over your own life. And that's something that I think a lot of modern day music lacks. So I think that was something very welcoming for me, was being able to listen to an album that actually makes you think.
Yeah, big ups, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
But you said you're a little bit nervous about the album coming out. What makes you so nervous about this one?
Because typically, you know, I'm a metalhead, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, this isn't the heaviest record typically, you know. Well, someone told me one time, a producer, actually Eric Ron, who did American Son, and, you know, you go in there, typical hardcore kids like me from the streets are like, yo, I want beatdowns, mosh pits, and, you know, you see Fire from the Gods live, and you're like, holy shit, this is not what I listen to, you know, because it's really, we're super intense live, you know, and we love that about ourselves. But he was like, Eric says, he's like, you know what, you don't have to necessarily write metal to write heavy music. And I was like, dude, you're right. So what I think, you know, it's different. It's just a different record, you know. I mean, we've got a song on there, Love is Dangerous, which is like a love song. And then you've got a song like Be Free, which is completely out of the realm of what we've done in the past. So I was just nervous to see, like, how people would receive it, you know. But I love it, man. I do love the record, trust me. And I agree with what you're saying, you know, about it and the intention of the lyrics and all that.
Was this a very personal album for you when you sat down to write it? Because I know tracks like 1,000 Lifetimes, they feel really, really personal.
Yes. Yeah. It's a different aspect to the Fire from the Gods message. You know, we never set out to make like these concept kind of records where there was about it. We didn't want to connect it all. We weren't thinking about that. But if the listeners and when people do deep dives into our stuff, you can see the obvious connection, and people that know me personally know. And, you know, Narrative had this very broad sense of, I'm angry, people are angry, and this is the only way I can get this anger out. And it was very abrasive, and the music was abrasive, and it's really raw. And then American Son was a little bit more refined, but at the same time, there was still this aggression behind it that said, we're even more pissed off now. This is the way we're going to do it. It was almost like a form of protest in that regard.
Yeah.
But this record, Soul Revolution, it's really about this journey and the journey that it took to write this record, because there was just a series of catastrophic things that had happened. I mean, we put out the song Right Now, right? Just to give you a very brief timeline, we went on this huge European tour with The Who, sold out shows every night. Right Now is rising on the charts internationally. We're making something for ourselves, and it's starting to make sense of what we're doing. And then bang, COVID.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, oh, but, you know, not only did COVID, I had to immediately, as soon as I got back off this adrenaline high of that tour and getting back to the States and all these cool things are going to happen, my dad ended up back in the hospital. And that was right around February. So in late February, I was in the hospital with him. And by the end of March, he was dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I had my dad, you know, one of the giants in my life. And you know, this guy was a a giant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And literally, because I'm 6'5", my dad was 6'5". You know, my brother is 6'8", my other brother's 6'7". You know, so we're huge people. You know, but then you have my uncle who was just like my dad. You know, he was gonna be like, he's like, I got your back. You know, so I figured, and this goes for my siblings and my cousins. We're a big family, and this Jamaican family, and you know, so my uncle was kind of the linchpin, and he was gonna hold everyone together. Bang! 2 weeks later, he gets COVID. He checks out. So I was in this place like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then I had another kid.
Wow.
I was like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah.
And then Austin, Texas, where we lived, it just right around like during COVID, right after we had the kid. So we're now in February of 2021. February 2021. And it's like, yo, you got to write another record soon. I'm like, what? Yeah, but not like surprise. I'm like, yeah, we definitely have to write a record. But so just to get to bring it home, then I have this kid, and then Texas goes through this crazy thing, and people's powers are out, and it's freezing, and it's winter, and there's people dying in their homes because EMS can't get to them, and you know, Texas is one of the most robust economies in the country. You know, this is oil. This is Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas, right?
Yeah.
So the place was reduced to like a third world country within a week. And then we're running around in frozen temperatures trying to find a hotel to live in for a week with a newborn and the 4-year-old. So it was crazy, man. And then right after, it was like, yo, we got to start demoing. We gotta start writing music. So I had to go, and then at the same time, we're supposed to be in the studio. We're doing Zoom links for writing sessions. It was crazy. So everything, it was just this perfect storm of madness. And so I was torn, and that's why and then on the opposite side of it, the whole world is going through this madness because don't remember, we've got this crazy political situation. We've got people rioting on every corner of the globe and protesting every corner of the globe. So then I had to center myself, but also talk about what I was feeling and how I was going, what I was going through. SOS, just like right now, was a very deeper. Right now was a call to action to change things right now, but it was a personal. Right now for me, it was like, if you want to do something for your life and do something for yourself, you got to get the fuck up right now, bro, and do something. And SOS was like, yo, I'm in a state of emergency. Yeah. And so is my country, and so are my people, and so are the people of the world. This is an emergency. We are on the brink of disaster. And I don't want to be a soothsayer and say, oh, the world's about to end. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I just think that things are fucked up, dude. You know, and yeah. I wanted to say something about it.
Did you find it cathartic to be able to sit down and write about it? Because a lot of musicians would have walked away for a while and just said, nah, I can't work on the album right now. But did you find it cathartic to actually work on the album and to be able to put down your feelings with words?
Yeah, man. And part of that comes from just stubbornness. Because, like you said, a lot of people just said, nah, this ain't the right time. Let's do it when it's a better time. And to be fair, I think after we did that Corn tour, that was probably the best time, which we still had some time to go and write the record. But that should have been the time when we kind of all sat down and when we did that tour with From Ashes to New, from after that tour, that's probably when we should have sat down and be like, okay, let's write this record. Because we would have definitely got a very different record. But we didn't have that time. And I think for me, it was good because I did a lot of maturing during this record. I did a lot of soul searching during this record. I was constantly at odds with the people in my team. As far as like label, we were at odds because we had a manager that left the business because she was going on to pursue like a family life. She had just had a kid, and our manager, her husband, is the frontman of a major band. I'm not going to say it because I don't think that when we talk about that, but the fact is her husband is in the business as well. So we were kind of like, damn, we lost our manager. Then our A&R guy at the record went on to do something bigger, or something different in his career path. So we were like, yo, what are we gonna do? You know, but there was so much that was going on, and I think I'm really happy that I was able to write a record like this, because these things do need to be said, and people need to get in touch with other parts of themselves. And metal music and heavy music just can't always be the same bullshit over and over again. Like, let's talk about being real. That's why I love Slipknot, because Slipknot talks, Corey Taylor talks about being real. He talks about the visceral side of the human experience, the downside, kind of. Like, life is great, but it's also real fucked up. Yeah. Whereas, I just wanted to put a little bit of heart and soul back into what we do here.
And songs like that and tracks like that, they help people so much. I know, for me, going through high school, Nirvana and Korn got me through high school. I saw high school as a battleground every single day, and it was bands like Cold Chamber, Korn, that were singing about real things that got me through those times.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, and I think this album is going to do that as well.
You get it, dude. Yeah, you get it, dude. Like, trust me, man. That's the generation I came from, and bro, the fact you said that, I almost got emotional, man. Because when we did the POD tour, I told Sonny, I was like, bro, you don't know how much Southtown changed and helped me, bro. Because I just felt I was always the weird kid, the nerdy, weird metal rock black kid that in New York City in the early 2000s, that was not the cool thing to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, not to be in the hood listening to, oh, you like that Metallica shit, bang. You know what I'm saying? And you got to fucking fight for your life. I wasn't a bitch, but I had to, like, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to stand up and stuff like that. So, it like you said, man, and I told Sonny, I was like, dude, my life was a battleground, bro. And, you're coming home and you got POD blasting in your headphones, and then you see the kids on the corner. Now they want to battle. They want to talk about, oh, you wear tight jeans, you're gay, you skateboard, you must want to be white. All this other bullshit. Bullshit stuff that people go through. But the music was there for me. And I wanted to, and as a new metal kid and stuff like that, those bands, Cold Chamber and Slipknot and Korn and Mudvayne, and, what they were singing about. They were singing about real shit. It wasn't about, like, me battling the demons of the dark. It was just me battling, getting up.
Exactly.
I don't want to fucking wake up today because I don't want to have to get my head piled in.
Yep.
Driven in by some kid. Or I don't want to wear my shitty clothes because I don't have cool clothes to wear, or I don't want to get laughed at, or I don't know if I'm going to pass, just the real shit. And like Thousand Lifetimes and SOS and Double-Edged Sword and stuff like that, those songs, it's like, it's real stuff. People have to face the reality of life every day, and I want to remind them that there's hope. And I think someone said, this record goes from hopelessness to hopefulness, and that's what I want to institute. Like, it's going to be okay. But if we trust each other and we have each other's back, it's going to be okay.
Definitely. AJ, I know we're running out of time very, very quickly, but I just wanted to ask before I go, are you ready for people to reach out to you and say, hey, man, I listened to this track and that's exactly what I'm going through at the moment? Because I think this album is one of those albums that people are going to be able to do that with.
Bro, there's so much of that already, man. And we did a bunch of recap videos that are on our socials and stuff that we did during the tour. And I was talking to the videographer, and we were just doing like little clips, and I was just talking about things about the record. And one particular clip was me saying that very thing when I was like, people always say, bro, your music saved my life. And I was like, you know what? And I like to think that the music saved my life. But what I wanted to say is, what I did say is, no, I didn't help you save your life. I just provided the soundtrack. You found the strength inside yourself to persevere and get through it. So that's what I want to say to people is that, I provide the soundtrack and gave you this a little bit of that boost, but you yourself, you found the strength inside. You know what I'm saying? And like World So Cold, you find it inside yourself to deal with the way this world feels and what you have to deal with. I didn't do that. You did that.